The Art Director's Debrief, The Three Musketeers, Number 3, The Anatomy of a 17th-Century Mousetrap. Hello, and welcome back to the Emotive Archive. In our previous debriefs, we established our central thesis, that Alexandre Dumas's The Three Musketeers, beneath its glittering surface of adventure, is a sophisticated and cynical political spy thriller. We declassified the profiles of our key players, reframing the King's Musketeers and the Cardinal's Guards as rival intelligence agencies locked in a Cold War for the soul of France. Today, we witness the pivotal moment our young recruit, D'Artagnan, is thrown from the relative simplicity of open combat into his first true field mission. Chapters 8 through 10 are a masterclass in building suspense and intrigue. They shift the focus from the flashing blades on the street to the quiet, far more dangerous world of whispered secrets, political conspiracies, and clandestine operations. In this, the first part of our two-part analysis, we will dissect D'Artagnan's initial entanglement in the Queen's secret affair and the brilliant, multi-layered mousetrap he sets, a maneuver that proves he possesses the most important quality of a great spy, a cunning, strategic mind that can turn an enemy's strength into a fatal weakness. The entire affair begins, as so many real-world espionage plots do, not with a grand declaration, but with a seemingly ordinary domestic crisis. D'Artagnan's landlord, the timid and bourgeois Monsieur Bonacieux, comes to him for help. His wife, the beautiful Constance, has been abducted. A traditional romantic reading sees this as a simple call to chivalry. A hero must rescue a damsel in distress. But through the cold, analytical lens of espionage, this is D'Artagnan stumbling upon an active enemy operation in progress. This is the moment a field agent, by chance or by design, gets his first thread of a much larger conspiracy. He quickly learns that his landlord is more than just a concerned husband. He is a man whose cowardice is being actively exploited and manipulated by the Cardinal's network. And more importantly, he learns that Constance Bonacieux is not just a pretty linen draper. She is the Queen's most trusted confidant, a high-level operative with unparalleled access to the royal apartments, a key player holding the monarchy's most dangerous secrets. Her role is historically plausible and a classic element of courtly intelligence. In the patriarchal world of 17th-century court life, women, particularly those in service roles like ladies-in-waiting or confidants, were often invisible. Their perceived lower status made them perfect conduits for secret information. They could move through corridors, deliver messages, and arrange clandestine meetings with a freedom that a high-profile nobleman could never achieve. Constance is precisely this kind of agent. Her loyalty is to the Queen, and her function is to facilitate the Queen's secret and politically explosive correspondence with her lover, the English Duke of Buckingham. Therefore, the abduction of Constance is not a random crime of passion. It is a targeted intelligence operation by the Cardinal's men. Their goal is to turn or break this key asset to extract information about the Queen's affair, information that Richelieu can then weaponize to disgrace the weak king. D'Artagnan, by choosing to help Constance, makes a critical decision. He is no longer just a soldier wearing the king's colors. He is now an active agent in the Queen's private, undeclared war against the Cardinal, a war fought not with cannons, but with secrets. His evolution from swordsman to spy is astonishingly rapid, revealing a natural talent, a prodigy's instinct for the craft. Having just proven his mettle in physical combat, he now demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of tradecraft. His first move is not to draw his sword, but to listen. He turns his own humble apartment into an observation and listening post. By exploiting a flaw in the floorboards, he creates a rudimentary listening device, allowing him to spy on the events unfolding in his landlord's apartment below. This is a classic espionage tactic, the 17th century equivalent of bugging a room. From this vantage point, he gathers intelligence, assesses the threat, and learns the identity of the enemy, confirming his suspicion that this is the work of the Cardinal's network. He overhears their plans, understands their objectives, and, most importantly, grasps the immense stakes involved. His decision to lie to the Cardinal's men when they come to arrest his landlord is a crucial act of counterintelligence. He is no longer just a boy from Gascony. He is a man thinking several moves ahead. He is actively disrupting the enemy's operation, protecting a potential asset, Constance, and using his anonymity as a new tenant to his advantage. The centerpiece of these chapters is what Dumas himself, with a wink to the reader, calls a mousetrap. This is D'Artagnan's first self-designed covert operation, and it is brilliant in its simplicity and devastating in its effectiveness. Let us, as art directors, analyze the anatomy of this beautiful piece of spycraft.
The objective is clear: to identify and neutralize the spies watching the house where Constance is now hidden. The primary obstacle is that his own landlord, Monsieur Bonacieux, has been turned by the enemy. He is now a compromised asset, a double agent working for the Cardinal out of fear. A lesser operative might see Bonacieux as a simple traitor to be eliminated. D'Artagnan sees him as a tool to be exploited. The first phase of the operation is disinformation. D'Artagnan uses his landlord's own treachery as a weapon. He fabricates a story, feeding false intelligence to Monsieur Bonacieux, claiming that the Cardinal's men are coming to seize Bonacieux himself for treason, knowing that the terrified landlord will immediately report this to his handlers to save his own skin. This act of planting disinformation is a sophisticated intelligence maneuver, designed to sow chaos and confusion within the enemy's ranks. It is a tactic as old as espionage itself, used by spies from Sun Tzu to the Cold War to manipulate their adversaries into making mistakes. The trap itself is then beautifully executed. D'Artagnan, having set the bait, creates a commotion. This lures the first set of the Cardinal's spies into his apartment, believing they are there to arrest Bonacieux. But D'Artagnan has already arranged for a second force to be deployed. Using the authority of his captain, Monsieur de Tréville, he has a patrol of the city guard, who are not aligned with the Cardinal, sent to investigate the disturbance. The result is a chaotic confrontation where the Cardinal's own forces, along with the city guard, end up creating a massive public scene, fighting each other and exposing their entire surveillance operation. All the while, D'Artagnan and his musketeer friends watch from a safe distance, thoroughly amused. He has successfully used the enemy's own resources and paranoia against them, forcing them to neutralize their own operation. This is not the work of a hot-headed Gascon. It is the work of a cunning strategist. He has proven he can think several moves ahead, anticipate his enemy's actions, and use deception as his primary weapon. He has graduated from his physical entrance exam in the previous chapters to pass his intellectual one here. This successful operation elevates his status immediately. It earns him the complete trust of Constance Bonacieux, and through her, access to the highest level of court intrigue. He is no longer just an aspiring musketeer or a new friend to Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. He is now the chosen agent for the Queen of France's most secret and dangerous mission. His reward is not money, but something far more valuable in the world of espionage: access and trust. The final scene of this section, where Constance leads him on a clandestine journey through the dark, secret corridors of the Louvre to meet a mysterious English contact, is pure spycraft. The atmosphere is thick with paranoia and suspense. Every shadow could hide an enemy. Every corner could hold an ambush. D'Artagnan has now fully entered the world of shadows. His journey as a swashbuckling hero is transforming into a far more complex journey of a political agent, navigating a web of secrets where a single misstep could mean not just his own death, but the downfall of the Queen and a potential war between nations. He has proven his worth, and the stakes of the game are about to be raised to an unimaginable level. The Mousetrap was just the beginning. The real mission, the affair of the diamond studs, is about to commence. Thank you for joining me in the Emotive Archive. Let us now delve deeper into the psychological and tactical nuances of these pivotal chapters. The abduction of Constance Bonacieux is the event that truly ignites the central plot. It is the inciting incident of our spy story. It is crucial to analyze not just the event itself, but the characters involved, starting with the man who brings the mission to D'Artagnan, Monsieur Bonacieux. He is, on the surface, a comical figure, a timid, avaricious, and foolish bourgeois. But through a modern lens, he represents something far more profound: the plight of the ordinary citizen caught in the crossfire of a shadow war between great powers. He is not a king, a cardinal, or a musketeer. He is a man of business, a landlord, whose primary concerns are his property and his comfort. He has no grand ideals of honor or loyalty to a cause. His only allegiance is to his own security. When his wife is taken, his initial reaction is not heroic fury, but terrified confusion. And when the Cardinal's agents, led by the man with the scar, Rochefort, come to him, they do not need to use torture. They use a far more effective weapon against a man like Bonacieux: fear and bribery. They play on his terror of the powerful Cardinal and appeal to his greed with a bag of gold. In that moment, Monsieur Bonacieux is turned. He becomes what intelligence agencies call a walk-in, an asset who willingly provides information to the enemy out of a sense of self-preservation.
He is not ideologically committed to the Cardinal's cause. He is simply taking the path of least resistance. This makes him a deeply relatable, if not admirable, figure. He represents the moral compromises that ordinary people are forced to make when caught between forces far greater than themselves. He is the civilian collaborator, a common and tragic figure in the history of every conflict and every occupation. In stark contrast to her husband stands Constance Bonacieux. If her husband represents the compromised citizen, Constance represents the dedicated ideological operative. She is not a noblewoman with grand titles, but she holds a position of immense strategic importance. She is the Queen's personal linen draper and trusted confidant. This grants her unparalleled access to the Queen's private chambers and secrets. She is, in essence, a key intelligence asset for Queen Anne's faction. Her loyalty is absolute. She is willing to risk abduction, imprisonment, and death to protect her queen's honor and secrets. Constance is the prototype of the female operative who uses her traditionally feminine role as a cover for her clandestine activities. She can move through the Louvre, carrying messages and arranging secret meetings under the guise of her domestic duties. Her perceived harmlessness is her greatest weapon. She is a fascinating character because she embodies a quiet, resolute courage that is born not of swordsmanship, but of loyalty. Her initial distrust of D'Artagnan is the caution of a seasoned operative assessing a new, unvetted contact. It is only when he proves his skill and his allegiance that she accepts him into her circle of trust. This brings us back to D'Artagnan's own evolution. His immediate decision to side with Constance against his own landlord is a defining moment. He is making a clear choice to align himself with the Queen's faction, a far more dangerous and uncertain path than simply minding his own business. His spycraft is initially rudimentary, but surprisingly effective. The act of listening through the floorboards is a display of innate cunning. He understands that information is the first and most important weapon in any conflict. He gathers intelligence before he acts. This is a crucial step up from the hot-headed boy who arrived in Paris. The old D'Artagnan would have immediately burst into the room and challenged the Cardinal's men to a duel. The new D'Artagnan, the nascent spy, understands the value of patience and surveillance. He waits, he listens, and he learns. His decision to lie to the guards who come to arrest Bonacieux is another key development. He uses his status as a newcomer, his apparent ignorance as a form of camouflage. He is practicing the art of deception, of creating a false persona to mislead the enemy. This is a fundamental skill in espionage. The true genius, however, is revealed in his Mousetrap operation. This operation shows that he has graduated from simple tactics to complex strategy. Let's break it down further. The goal is not just to evade the spies, but to neutralize them and expose their operation. By planting disinformation with the now compromised Monsieur Bonacieux, D'Artagnan is engaging in a form of counterintelligence known as dangle or provocation. He dangles a piece of false bait to provoke the enemy into revealing themselves. He correctly predicts that Bonacieux's fear will make him an unreliable but predictable channel of communication to the Cardinal's network. The execution of the trap is a study in controlled chaos. By luring one set of spies into a confrontation with another set of agents, the city guard, D'Artagnan accomplishes several objectives at once. First, he creates a public disturbance that draws unwanted attention to the Cardinal's covert activities. Second, he sows confusion and mistrust within the enemy's own ranks. And third, he does all of this without ever revealing his own hand, maintaining perfect plausible deniability. His musketeer friends, watching from a distance, are not just amused, they are impressed. They recognize in this young man not just courage, but a cunning mind that is perfectly suited to their shadow war. Athos, the strategist, would have appreciated the logic. Porthos, the man of grand gestures, would have loved the theatricality. And Aramis, the master of secrets, would have admired the elegant deception. The successful execution of this operation is what truly earns him his place. His reward is trust, the most valuable currency in the world of espionage. Constance now sees him as a capable and reliable operative. She grants him access to the ultimate mission, safeguarding the Queen's secret. The final scene, a clandestine journey through the secret passages of the Louvre at night, is a powerful symbolic moment. D'Artagnan is literally leaving the public, sunlight world of the common soldier and entering the dark, hidden world of the royal court's deepest secrets. He is being led into the labyrinth. The atmosphere Dumas creates is thick with paranoia and suspense. Every shadow could hide an enemy, every corner could hold an ambush. This is no longer a simple adventure. D'Artagnan has proven his worth, and the stakes of the game have been raised from personal honor to the fate of a nation. The affair of the diamond studs, which will define the next phase of his life, is about to begin, and he has just proven that he has the intelligence and the cunning to be the Queen's chosen champion. Thank you for joining me in the Emotive Archive.